Good morning, everyone. It's me, Pradeep Lamisani, a PhD research fellow at Kathmandu University at the Department of Languages and Mass Communication. Today, I am going to have a presentation on a popular Nepali movie. The name of the movie is Gaon Aiko Bato, or Road to a Village. Actually, this movie is directed by Naveen Subba, and this movie talks largely about the impact of modernization on an indigenous culture. That's why the title of my paper is The Impact of Modernization on Indigenous Culture, a thematic study of Naveen Subba's Gaon Aiko Bato. In this paper, in this presentation, I have especially focused on some elements of modernization, that is urbanization, technological development, some kind of consumer culture and commodification process. How consumer culture, commodification process, urbanization and technological advancement create trouble in the life of indigenous people. That is my major concern. And while writing this research paper and presenting this paper here with you, I have applied a qualitative research method. Instead of looking at cinematic techniques, I have closely observed every detail of characterization, the plot movement, atmosphere of the movie, and other statements that characters speak. And being dependent on language, story development, plot, atmosphere, and setting, I have come with a concept that this movie is better to be analyzed from the perspective of modernization. And we all know that modernization is a social change. Modernization is sometimes taken positively. We argue that modernization brings changes in society and it is necessary for social reform, technological advancement, and some kind of progress and dynamism. But we have to see modernization from another perspective, that is how modernization creates problem in the life of people. Modernization has two sides. Every form of modernization cannot be healthy and progressive to all people. But the darker side of modernization is something, if you fail to compete in modernization, if your way of living that are not matching to the modernization, and if you cannot compete in the modern market, that you become the failure. This kind of idea has been well presented in this movie. And first of all, let me read the plot because many of you may not have gone through the movie. I read the plot, then I go for my analysis. The film Gaon Aiko Bato centers around the life of Maila Rai, an indigenous Rai character, a skilled basket weaver who lives in a remote village of eastern Nepal. Maila leads his simple and modest rural life with his wife Maili Rai, a simple rural woman, and their 7-year-old son Bindre. Bindre is curious, energetic, and quite interested in new culture. Well trained and skilled in weaving bamboo basket and other handicrafts, Maila lives a very modest and simple village life, untouched by urban culture and market economy. Maila leads a self-sufficient and modest life, far from urban culture and modernization. While practicing his ancestral profession and lifestyle, Maila relies on barter-based economy and ancestral lifestyle. Then all of a sudden, there is intervention in the form of road. The road appears in the village, and this road, you can see there, the road, when the road appears in the village, now Maila has to face different kind of challenges and sufferings in his life. First of all, the road makes him jobless. Now people stop showing interest in buying his bamboo-made handicrafts. Now people shift to plastic-made items. Now this boss doesn't bring hope to Maila. One after another, the boss brings changes in the life of Maila. First of all, he lost his job because of the boss. When the boss appears in the village, now people start buying plastic-made things. They start showing interest in modern culture. They begin to drink beer. They show interest in Coca-Cola. They use other kind of market available things. It means this boss is a journey. The journey relates village to the city. And this is because of the medium of the boss. Now the people of rural village of eastern Nepal, they begin to follow the culture of city areas, that is the culture of Dharan, and there is one particular character, Maila Rai. This Maila Rai is a helpless character, an uneducated character, a character who lives a very simple ancestral life. This character doesn't find any better way to sustain his profession. First of all, he loses his job, then one after another he finds problem over there. And there in the village we see Laure store. This Laure store is the first agency of modernization. I have said that when the Laure store is opened in a remote village, this Laure store it supplies the product of markets. This Laure store is the agency for consumer culture. Because of Laure store, now people understand the culture of commodification. Soda water, Coca-Cola, cell phone, public bus, plastic materials, tractor, sunglass, color television, eating rice, chocolate, beer bottle, and bra that was bought by Myla to his wife. All these represent in the film as the commercial products that impact traditional social system. That's why, in my observation, the Laure store that was first established in the village, it is the beginning of modernization, and this turning point, it is an intervention in the indigenous culture of eastern Nepal and in the culture of Rai people. And for me, this Indian Laure is an active agent for modernization. The Indian ex-military person, he speaks sometimes Hindi and English. He serves Coca-Cola to children. He uses tractor. He makes Myla Rai. He convinces Myla Rai to produce homemade alcohol and sell it to Dharan and like that. When Myla lost his profession, now there is Laure, and this Laure appears in the form of capitalist, and he convinces Myla Rai to sell alcohol. That is an illegal activity. It means that when market is competitive, when people come to lose their traditional job, now they don't find any way, and ultimately they have to choose some wrong way of living. Because of this Laure character, now Myla, a very simple and modest character in the past, now he joins this kind of criminal activity. It is all because of cultural intervention by market. That's why the film teaches us in an indirect way that whenever we lose our culture, whenever we try to adopt other culture, and if we fail into it, we are to be involved sometimes this kind of criminal activity. That's why in my observation, this Indian Laure is an active agent for modernization. And I have also observed the scene of urbanization. There on the screen you can see the city of Dharan. Whenever Myla Rai he goes to Dharan with his colorful baskets, reaching the market Dharan, he finds all the people indifferent to him. There is no one to listen to his problem. There is no one to buy his things, and he cannot give his things at cheap price there. Because of economic pressure, he cannot sell his things there, and no one is there to support him. There is no one to listen to him. All the people turn indifferent to him, and Myla Rai realizes that when the people they go to urban area, they have the real problem. That's why the issue of urbanization is clearly shown there. The village of Myla and the village of this the urban city of Dharan, the gap has been clearly depicted in this movie. And in the movie, my another observation is that there is a gap between Myla Rai and his son. Bindre is the central character, the son of Myla Rai. He is a 7 years old child. And this character, Bindre, he is attracted to modern culture. First of all, he wears black sunglasses. He starts drinking drinking coke. He shows interest in soda water, and at the same time, Myla, he shows unusual fascination towards color television. And when this young 7 years boy, he demands color television, now his parents, Myli Rai and Myla Rai, both of them are invited to this kind of modernity. Myla Rai is not economically capable to afford any color television to his children, but because of the pressure of the son, now they shift their culture, they shift their demand, and dreamless, passionless, and any kind of ambitionless person, Myla Rai, now he sets his journey. That is, he has to buy television set for his son. That's why, in my observation, gap is clearly seen between two characters. Myla Rai still represents tradition, but his 7 years son, he represents modernity. And in the movie, there is a tussle between tradition and modernity, and now tradition is slowly pulled by modernity, and these young children, because of the pressure of Bindre, now Myla Rai, he has to involve himself in different kind of unexpected and ambitious activities. Ultimately, this Maila Rai, he comes to lose his son Binre at a road accident, and the film ends in this way that the road that in the first it used the property or land of Maila Rai. The same road destroyed profession of Maila Rai. Because of the road, Maila Rai was jobless. Because of the road, there was conflict between husband and wife. Because of the road, Maila Rai had to abandon his ancestral living. Because of the same road, Maila Rai ultimately he lost his son in a road accident. And because of this road, Maila Rai he ultimately left his village. Because of this movie clearly teaches us that if we fail to adjust ourselves with modernity and if we suffer from the upcoming challenges of modernity, people have to suffer a lot. That's why we have to be always sincere about protecting culture and balancing itself with upcoming social and cultural challenges that this movie presents. That's
Thank
all.
you, Pradeep. I think that's a wonderful point to start your presentation. I now request Mr. Alok Lamsal for his comments.
Thank you very much, Pradeep sir, for this presentation. And I remember one book by Leo Marx, The Mission in the Garden, where American pastoral concept has been intervened by American industrialization. And I think that this movie also links with that idea of the book. And the symbol that you have mentioned in your presentation, the Lowry store, is an interesting symbol. And the commercial products like soda water, Coca-Cola, plastic materials, and I also remember one word I would like to borrow. I don't know whether he's the first person to use that word, Coca-Colization. So Coca-Colization of that particular place. Okay, I think Arun Gupta used this word sometime back, which I remember. So, so these are the factors affecting the traditional rural life. That is a very interesting point that you have made. And the identification of modernization, like urbanization that you have mentioned, and technological innovation, and market-led economy also, okay? And consumer culture, okay, that is also another point that we have made. And directly going to I think, the point that you can improve in your paper after when you are writing your elaborate paper, you have deliberately excluded cinematic techniques, right, to analyze the movie. So maybe sometimes excluding these cinematic techniques and ideas would not integrate the actual meaning of modernization in the movie, because he has used various techniques, okay, various framing techniques and ideas, okay, and even a directorial concept in the movie. And so maybe you could elaborate more rather than descriptive level of elaboration, okay, so maybe you can include that as well, and a deeper critical engagement into the concept. And yes, that's it from my side. It's a wonderful presentation, and different symbols, commodification, color TV. Color TV is another symbol, and the road itself is a very powerful symbol in the movie. Thank you very much for the presentation. Thank you.
Any person, just one person? क्वेसन एकदमै छोटो राख्नु।
नमस्कार, मेरो नाम महेश पाण्डे।
Okay.
प्रेजेन्टेसन एकदमै गजब लाग्यो, तर मलाई त्यो फिल्म हेर्दा पनि र यो प्रेजेन्टेसनमा जस्तो माइला राईले आफ्नो उत्पादन त्यही बसमा चढेर बजार पुर्याउँछन्।
Yes.
है, बाटो सधैँभरि फिल्मभरि नै क्रिटिकल रूपमा हेर्न प्रेरित गर्छ त्यो बाटोलाई, तर त्यो बाटोले अथवा त्यो बसले कुनै फाइदा नै नपुर्याएको हो कि केही न केही फाइदा त पुर्याएको छ त्यो गाउँमा, त्यो गाउँका मान्छेहरूमा अथवा त्यो समाजमा। त्यो पक्षलाई चाहिँ यसरी क्रिटिक हेर्दा पनि छुट्ने र फिल्ममा पनि छुट्ने जस्तो लाग्छ। त्यसलाई चाहिँ कसरी एड्रेस गर्न सकिन्छ?
Okay.
सँगै पछाडि पनि आएको ठाउँ भएको थियो।
ओके अर्को
यो दुईटा क्वेसन एकैचोटि लिउँ न फोटोमा चाहिँ।
मोहन चापागाई, म चाहिँ फर्मर जोइन्ट सेक्रेटरी र राइटर पनि हो म, अनि टुरिज्म रिसर्चर पनि हो। अहिले लास्टमा चाहिँ नि फिल्मको रिसर्च गरिरहेका छु। अब मेरो यो चाहिँ भनाइ के हो भनेदेखि अब हामी नेपाली फिल्महरूमा मात्रै चाहिँ घुमिरहेका छौँ। मैले अब इन्टरनेसनल फिल्महरू जस्तो मोजुको छ, टोकियो स्टोरी भन्ने, बाइसाइकल थिप्स भन्ने छ होइन। अब हामी
उहाँलाई प्रश्न सोधिदिनु होला।
इन्टरनेट उसमा नगए पनि कमसेकम इन्डियाको सत्यजित रेको तुलनामा त हामी जानु पऱ्यो नि। अब नेपाली फिल्म जुन जसले कुनै इन्टरनेसनल अवार्ड पाएको छैन, ठुलो कम्पिटिसन गरेको छैन भने त्यो नेपाली फिल्महरू हामी डिस्कस गरेर त्यो छलफल गरेर त्यसबाट के सिक्न सक्छौँ।
धन्यवाद। त्यो चाहिँ रिसर्चको काम भइ नै रहेको छ, हाम्रो डिपार्टमेन्टमा पनि गरिरहेका छौँ। आउँदा वर्षहरूमा तपाईँले ती सम्बन्धी पेपर पनि सुन्न सक्नुहुन्छ। पहिलो क्वेसन
ओके, म नेपालीमै बोलौँ। ओके, यो कस्तो देखाएको भने फिल्मले चाहिँ हामीले के बुझ्नुपर्छ भने मोडर्नाइजेसनले सोसाइटीमा चेन्ज ल्याउँछ, डेभलपमेन्ट हुन्छ, टेक्नोलोजी आउँछ, ल्यापटप आउला, फोन आउला नि, तर जस्तो मेरो हजुरबुवालाई के बेनिफिट हुन्छ भने जस्तै देखाएको छ क्या फिल्मले। माइला राईलाई जिन्दगीमा चोयाको बास्केट बनाउने भन्दा अरू केही पनि आउँदैन, उसले केही पनि जानेन भने चाहिँ उसले त्यो रोडको बेनिफिट लिने के त। डाइरेक्टर यो कुरामा एकदमै कन्सियस छन्, मैले यति फिल गरेँ। उसले केही पनि पाएन र त्यो रक्सी बेच्न पनि उसले खोजेको थिएन। बेरोजगार भएर सकिएपछि केही पनि बाटो नभइसकेपछि छोराको टेलिभिजन किनिदिने इच्छा पुरा गर्न अरू अप्सनै थिएन। गाउँका मान्छेले त्यो चोयाको डोको बास्केट बेच्न किन्न छोडे। उसले पढेको छैन, खेत पनि आफ्नो छैन, टोटल्ली उसँग अरू एउटा पनि स्किल छैन भने चाहिँ नेपालमा त्यस्ता धेरै मान्छे छन् जोसँग एउटा पनि त्यो पुरानो पेसाभन्दा बाँच्ने बाटै छैन। त्यस्ता मान्छेलाई देशमा मैले कहिलेकाहीँ यो प्रधानमन्त्रीको कार्यक्रममा पनि भन्छु कि काठमाडौँको धरहरा देखाएर कर्णालीलाई के फाइदा हुन्छ। रानी पोखरी काठमाडौँमा बन्यो, त्यो कर्णालीमा के हुन्छ भने जस्तै कुनै कुनै डेभलपमेन्ट प्रोजेक्ट्सहरू यस्तो हुन्छन् कि जसले टिपिकल इन्डिजिनियस क्यारेक्टरहरूको लाइफमा कुनै इम्प्याक्ट ल्याउँदैन। त्यसैले मैले एउटा लाइन त्यहाँ भनेको छु, मोडर्न मार्केटको कम्पिटिटिभ जमानामा माइला राई चाहिँ एउटा फेलियर पर्सन हो। त्यो फेलियर भएको कारणले गर्दा उसको त्यो सराउन्डिङ, फिजिकल सराउन्डिङ मात्रै होइन, मेन्टल सराउन्डिङमा पनि एकदमै धेरै इम्प्याक्ट गर्यो। त्यसैले उसले सानो ट्राई गर्यो इलिगल एक्टिभिटी, त्यो इलिगल एक्टिभिटीमा पनि त्यो प्रहरीहरूले के गरिदिन्छन्, रक्सी बेच्ने बेला बसमै रोकिदिन्छन् भनेपछि कहिलेकाहीँ त्यो मोरल डिग्रेडेसन हो।
Thank you, Pradeep. I think that answers the question. You need not go into detail. Thank you very much for your presentation. I now invite Vigyan Sampata.